Eighth grade math, Mr. Catlin here with lesson 13 on your homework for this week in 412 through 415. And we're solving these systems of equations. We're looking at two lines here of a graph. And given these two lines, it wants us to give some possible equations that represent this system. All right. So that means that it wants us to write some form of equation in y equals mx plus b, where, of course, m is our slope and b is our y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. And for the blue line, okay, I'm going to talk about the blue line first. We have to do some estimating work here because we don't have any scales on our x or y axis, but we can assume that this has a positive slope. And let's just pick something very simple. It could be any number as long as it's positive. Let's just say that its slope is 2. It's going up 2 every 1. Now, we don't know that for sure, but it could be. And it says possible equation, so it didn't have to be perfect. So let's say that this line has a slope of 2, so that would be y equals 2x. Okay, put slope there. And let's say that B is where it crosses the y-axis, and it looks like it's crossing at 1, right? Looks like it's just barely above the or the origin there. Let's say y equals 1. That is a possible equation for that line. Now, if you write that equation for the first line, your second equation, which I will do in black for the black line, has to have some similarities because these two lines are parallel to each other, or they appear to be. So if they're parallel to each other, we've learned that parallel lines share the same slope. So this has to start off with y equals 2x and have the same slope as the blue line. Easy enough. But the y-intercept is clearly different. This one was crossing at what looks to be y equals 1. And if that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 below the origin. So not plus 4 or 5, but minus. And I'm going to go with minus. It looks more like a 5 to me. I'm going to go minus 5. So this could be the equation for that. This could be at, y equals -5 right there, which is why my y-intercept is there. Y equals 1, y-intercept. We're just assuming the slope is 2. We're just taking a guess. We know it's positive. All right. These are two possible equations for this system of equations. And then on number 2, how many solutions does this system of equations have? Okay, we can explain our reasoning here by saying there will not be any because they're parallel and they're never going to cross each other. You could also prove it with a little algebra and say that 2x plus 1 is never going to equal 2x minus 5 because whenever you subtract 2x from both sides, you're left with this statement, which is false, right? So there's never going to be a pair of x and y's that solve both of these equations that work for them both because they're never going to cross each other. They're parallel. And when we set them equal to each other, they make a false statement. And that is all we got for your cool down for lesson 13. See you guys later.